Live from the living room, it's the living room chat with Kelli Ann and Greg. August 28th, Wednesday, 2024.
Yeah.
What time is it? 10:02.
10:02 our time.
10:02.
Yeah.
So let's chat.
Let's chit-chat.
Shall we?
Yeah. This is the hubby with Kelli Ann. That's me. Yeah, we chit-chat about things. There's things that get to me sometimes. So
What
we
the news?
chit-chat.
What did we see in the news yesterday?
Huh?
I haven't watched the news at all today.
I don't know if... No, I was working on my points to ponder, putting them together yesterday. Because I have to record tomorrow.
We were talking about the incidents at the airports, right?
Oh, right.
They had...
One in Seattle and then one in Atlanta. And, we've been thinking about going to see my son and my daughter in the Seattle area. And I just don't, Greg, I don't feel comfortable flying right now. I don't trust stuff right now. I'd rather just get in the car and drive for a while and have that kind of vacay, if you will. I mean, we've been going at this for, almost 7 years solid in terms of Q.
Right.
Literally, it's just several months away from that. But doing these videos full, for 6 years solid,
Yeah.
literally, I mean, I guess you're the only person who really can attest to what I've been doing for 6 years, and it's been nonstop. It's literally been nonstop with all of this other stuff thrown in terms of health issues, for instance. I don't like to bring those things into the historical videos about my health. I rarely do it,
Right.
because I want it to be a historical record about what's going on, right? In terms of
Right.
the Q operation, and I've always brought in, my angle's always been, from the very beginning, the Q, obviously, operation from the Q board, but then John F. Kennedy Jr. posts coming in, the R posts, etc., and then tying it into the Q drops, and of course Donald Trump and Dan Scavino and some of the communications, Epoch Times, huge, in terms of the Q team sending back communications. So that's what I've been doing basically solid for over 6 years.
Yeah.
Like day and night. It takes a lot to be on top of everything, to gather things, to organize the videos in a way that makes sense. Like right now we're in the middle of the assassination attempt, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Right? And I've already done, how many parts have I done? 8. I still have at least another 4 or 5 videos to go because it's historical. And when people look at it, it may take me 3 months to get it done, right? But when people are watching these videos in the future, they just go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. They don't realize any time's passed. So it's a little challenging, because you have things breaking. You want to, get confirming comms in there too, but you want to lay out something. So it's challenging in terms of laying stuff out and making it make sense, okay? And bringing the receipts. And then recording it, and then editing it, and getting it scheduled. And then, it's been nonstop like this for 6 years. And people may not know, and I don't like to talk about it, and I don't like putting labels on myself, etc. But I was diagnosed with leukemia several years ago, and they basically, about 6 months ago, said that I have to have chemotherapy. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. So I'm looking at, in terms of parasites and stuff, I'm looking at the protocols to do that, and I'm excited because I'm actually going to start on some of these dewormers, etc. And so I'm doing that in the midst of everything, and even when I started near the beginning, we had the whole eye issue, right?
Yeah, well, you had the cancer and your retina cancer in your eye, and you always just
kept plugging along.
Kept going until we started to get censored. And then as we got censored, it made things even more difficult and more challenging, and having to take new directions, how to get this information out, which no one else is putting out. Everybody else can get up there and they're talking heads. And that's great, it's entertaining. I like watching some of these talking heads, I really do. But no one's putting out the information that you're putting out. Now, we were warned recently, within about a month or so ago, without going to any specifics, that there is those who are going to take information that you and others are putting out, are going to try to instill some type of AI shenanigans with it. And boy, did we find out. We found out just recently. So you did an interview with Juan O'Savin and Matt Geiger on your Nugget Report, put it out there, and now we're fighting with someone who took that information, chopped it up, and then with AI voice put another podcaster's voice in there and is putting it out as this is and saying this with no authorship. Well, that was a lot of work on our part to put that out there, and lo and behold, here is the fruit of what someone had told us about 6 weeks ago, that there is a third party out there who's intentionally doing this kind of stuff, and we got nailed with it, and we're fighting with that person right now.
It's just interesting because this particular platform that does a lot of the reposts of content providers, okay, different people that you know are aware of, Nino and Mary Crowley and Ethan Lucas, and just the different quote unquote hosts, that's I guess way to say it, that speak with Juan and that do these presentations. And this particular platform that reposts all of this has no problem keeping the videos intact with the host in terms of the content providers' names associated with it. But when it's come to me and I don't have, well, I know it's a spiritual thing because of their particular handle, Gypsy Spirit, should tell you something, okay? That's kind of where they're coming from. But for some reason, they have just targeted me, taken a couple of my Nugget reports, the latest one, but also I think one of the first ones we did, took the information, put their own graphics in, edited out any reference to me, especially in this last one. The other one, when they first did it, they were making very rude remarks about me in the description box, saying I didn't know what I was doing. Yet they're taking my work, and going and chopping it up and making it as if their own, as if it is their own work, and it isn't. Okay, so they're a little cray-cray, and it's just more of the challenges, the wrenches that I've had to go through for years. This is on top of all my health stuff. I mean, you're right, censorship. When I first started off with this on YouTube, I think I had close to, and I'm not into that, but the fact is it was historical. It was super fun as I was putting out these videos at the beginning with the whole JFK Jr. angle, etc., all the work that I've done on the R thread, blah, 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 putting these videos out, and people would start watching them and bring comments in, the Friends with Lens, and I put them in the next videos. So it was a snowball. And we had, tens of thousands of views, and the comments, thousands and thousands of them. And then basically I got censored, and then YouTube was giving me strikes on things, that videos that I had hidden, that had been done a year prior. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my channel to at least point them over to Rumble and Locals and Telegram. So I've had to deal, and then of course they took down my channel, all right? TikTok, I put one video up, they banned me, all right? This is what I'm dealing with on top of what I have to deal with just to get these videos out. And people do not understand. They just do not understand. And I'll say I get frustrated because I just do,
What's interesting is this one particular channel. The other so-called patriot channels out there are promoting this person's channel.
Yeah, well, because this person takes other people's content, just reposts it, puts their own 2 cents in the description bar, and they literally think it's their copyrighted material. And so, they're getting their clicks and stuff. That's what they would challenge me when they did it the first time. Oh, look, you don't get hardly any clicks. As if, hey, I'm putting out original stuff. What you're doing is just taking other people's stuff and reposting it and building your channel up, and you're going to be, making money on Rumble, whatever. And it's just totally, it's very disheartening to have other fellow patriots literally promoting this person who's taking my stuff, my presentation. It takes work to do that and edit it, all of that, and then go and hijack it. Doing their own thing and saying as if, well, I'm not going to report her, like as if I'm going to be reported for something. This person who runs this major channel for these reposts of Juan's stuff needs to go down. That's not the way I feel. It's like they're a fraud. and they're stole my stuff, and they act like they're speaking on behalf of one. They have all the copyright stuff, etc. And I'm like, okay, I don't think so, but yet they're still running along. And then I've had in my history my stuff taken down.
Well, you know, Kelli, you have a teaching channel.
Yeah.
And your information is really historical and it's teaching. What everybody else does, and they do it well, is they're talking heads or they're reposting other stuff. And you know what? That's all good. But I'm gonna say we, but it's you. You're the forerunner in this. This is your gifting. You have a teaching channel, and in the past you've made that for free, and I was against that from the get go. So no, this is a teaching channel, and you never wanted to be. You didn't never want to take a dime, this and that, blah blah blah. Things had to change.
Years.
Things had to change after the election. And with them censoring and going forward, even now, I mean, you're putting up teaching channels on Rumble and Telegram, at least for a few days, people can actually see it. And so that's, and then we have a paywall over on Locals, which is a library, which is for support and seeing all of the work, because we cannot put it up anywhere else. So your lane is totally different from these other people, and what you're doing is totally different. So with that being said, the offense is that someone has taken that research work and chopped it up, presented it as their own, and take another podcaster's voice with AI and go in and put that podcaster's voice over yours. That's a no-no. That's a no-go. So, listen, you can get up here and, I've even tried to talk to you. So listen, why don't you just do a talk channel in addition to doing the research? But it's just too much. It's too much on you, what you're dealing with. People don't know what we're dealing with.
They don't.
Medical issues and stuff like that. So your main focus has always been the teaching, not the giddy gab. And trust me, you can giddy gab. You put skid marks on my ears talking all day long. It's like, why don't we just put this into a show, okay? But that's a no-no.
Remember the official John F. Kennedy Jr., the official account on the Bluebird? He called me a big gabby gab. This was at the beginning. And this account, now it's, obviously been kicked off, but it has proof. So this was John F. Kennedy Jr.'s official account. Yeah. And he'd call me Gabby Gab at the beginning of it, like way back in 2018. So funny. He's not good information. A big Gabby Gab. That was during my, when I would just be at the beginning of all this, right? I mean, what do I want to say? I've grown through the years, and I've learned how to do things better, in terms of the studio. And I have my studio set up like that. People sometimes say, oh, you're too far away, and this and that.
Tough.
Well, the point is when I'm doing the Points to Ponder, it's not about me seeing me. It's about hearing me, because I'm bringing graphics in, and I want people to see my studio. A lot of the Friends with Lens have sent me some really neat stuff that I put in the studio, okay? So I like to have that viewpoint of the studio. When I do the Nugget Report, it's a little bit more homey. I've had the fire going during the winter time when we've done the Nugget Report with Juan and Matt. I like a different atmosphere, okay? It's more of a homey, kind of a cozy, way I want to do it. But, and then you've got the quarterback armchair people who probably never done any work themselves coming and putting their 2 cents in. Well, you should do it this way. You should do it that way. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do it my way. If you want to want to see it a certain way, go do your own videos. Okay, That's the reality.
And,
it's so easy to criticize people.
Just kind of wrap this up. Your channel is a teaching channel. You bring the receipts.
Yep.
It's documented.
Yes.
We're not sitting there speaking hot air or entertaining people. I would love for us to do that at some point. We're not ready to do that right now. We may figure it out or may not, but your main gig is teaching, and there's a different value to that than someone running their face. okay? Or someone who's just, you know,
taking other people's content and trying to
or doing the, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we bring a different value. Kelli
Yes.
brings a different value.
Yes.
And she has always tried to figure out a way to include people. And we're still figuring out if that's right or wrong. We're at this point, what we're doing. We've tried to get sponsors. Some sponsors come up and we've said no. Some came in, figured them out, and said, no way, Jose, cut them loose, get them out of here. Okay? Because we never wanted to hurt our audience. Some have duped us, others haven't. But we're still a work in progress figuring that out, how to get advertisers, things of that nature. She's doing the best she can, but this is different. This brings a different value. This is a teaching value. We're gonna have to.
And I think, just as closing, I think the Q team recognizes that, obviously, because they continue to bring the confirming columns back so I can build the historical record. But I guess what I'm saying right now is, Q, would you please go in and take care of this one account that is hijacking my stuff, making it look like Juan is supportive of it, okay? They think they own all of Juan's stuff. You know, I know Juan, you've heard me say who I think Juan is. I think he literally is the face of Q. What do I mean by that? And this will clarify, you know, even with, you know, in terms of who is it in a bodysuit. You have to understand that we've taken the deep state playbook, okay? What they would do is they create characters, bodysuits, a face, a mask, whatever, okay? And then real people going in and out playing this role, all right? So, Juan O'Savin, who we normally hear most of the time, is an intel guy. He's with the Q team. He's the face of the Q team. That's what I believe. He steps into this bodysuit. So that intel guy, quote unquote, Juan O'Savin, is protected. No one knows what he really looks like.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
Now, once in a while, John F. Kennedy Jr. uses that character, that bodysuit, to go into when he wants to. And we've shown even graphics where it looks like John F. Kennedy Jr. Like they've done some variation to the quote-unquote costume, the character, the bodysuit. So anyway, so Juan is the intel guy. He's legit. And, you know, I would just hope that the Q team would go in and take care of this person who is taking my stuff, inserting AI over it, and for whatever reason, and then trying to act like they have authority to do it. Okay, that's looking bad. Gotta say it, towards the Q team. Okay, that's the reality because they're painting themselves.
Well, we're not going to stop with your videos and what you're seeing and
that's
how
right.
we're putting. You know,
I'm called to do what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it.
We're not going to do that.
Nope.
So anyway,
That's
okay.
true.
So we'll wrap this up, and we'll see if we can have an off the cuff type of conversation like this again in the future. Bye.